What's up gamers? Welcome into another Kylobyte build video, and this time I'm bringing you a 1-bar PvP Arcanist build. This setup is great for those who are getting used to the Arcanist skills and playstyle by making it a lot simpler to play. Having only 1 bar to worry about makes learning the new class a much more comfortable process. This build makes use of the Crux system to deliver great damage and huge survivability. If you want to see the quick version of this build, then check out my 1-minute build video. I'll leave the link to that in the description, but if you want the full details, then stay right here. Let's get into it. Okay, so here we are. We have a 1-bar Arcanist build for you. First things first, let's get into the stats. We are Khajiit, which is really nice, gives us some extra crit and stuff. We have 30k health, which is a good spot for PvP, 22k magicka, 17.5k stamina, and we have a lot of resistances, plenty of resistances. You'll never run out on this build. Maybe if you roll dodge a bit too much, stamina becomes a bit of an issue, but never really. Weapon and spell damage is at just over 4k, which seems a little bit on the low side, but when I explain how this build works, it's more than enough. 26% crit, 6k penetration, and we have 24k resistances, which again seems a bit low, but we have some damage shields and stuff. But yeah, then we got all our points in 2 magicka. Also, we are using the Arteum Takeaway Broth food for the max health, health recovery, max stam, and stamina recovery. And we're using the Atronach Munderstone for the magicka recovery. And for consumables, we are just using 1 pot. We're using immovability pots, so we're immune to knockback and disabling effects, and we're using the ones that grant major expedition for the movement speed as well. And this one also restores stamina and gives major endurance. So with that all out of the way, let's move on to sets. Because this is a 1-bar build, of course, we are running Oakensoul. I'm sure you all know what Oakensoul does by now, but if you don't, it gives you a huge amount of buffs at all times, so you constantly have a lot of major and minor buffs, but it restricts you to 1 bar, so you can't bar swap, you don't have a back bar. The reason this is good is because it makes the build easier to play. You don't have to constantly think about keeping your buffs up, you could just have them at all times and there's less skills to worry about. So yeah, that's really good. And then that means we have 2 5-piece sets. The first set we're running is Mara's Balm. This gives us armor, crit resist, healing taken, and then when a negative effect is removed from you, you restore health every 1 second, and then when you take damage and have 6 or more negative effects, you restore health per negative effect and then cleanse all of the negative effects. This did get a bit of a nerf. It used to be every 15 seconds, but now it's every 30. But if you ask me, this is still a very good set. It's a huge survivable set. It comes in heavy armor, and removing negative effects is people don't talk about how good that is. That's still really good. I would still take this over anything else. So we're using this on 5 body pieces. We have it on the helmet, the shoulders, the hands, the legs, and the waist. So we have 5-piece Mara's Balm at all times. And then paired with that, we are using Innate Axiom. This is a craftable set. It gives you damage, max magicka, max stamina, crit chance, and then adds 386 spell and weapon damage to your class abilities. This is good because it's up at all times. It doesn't show up in the stat sheet, which is why our damage seemed a bit low. And on this build, we are using all class skills. You know, it's a new class, we want to use the class skills. So every skill on our bar, except for the ultimate, is a class skill. So we get the benefit of that at all times. So we have that on a front bar ice staff. And then I have it on the necklace, the ring, and the boots. So that means at all times we have 5-piece Innate Axiom, 5-piece Mara's Balm, and then that saves 1 slot for a heavy trainee chest piece for the extra max health. So that means on this build we are running 6 heavy and 1 medium. We have the Innate Axiom medium boots, and then Mara's Balm is all heavy, and trainee is heavy as well. And then we've gone Sharpened on the Ice Staff for the extra penetration. And then with our jewelry, we've gone 2 Swift for the movement speed and 1 Infused, and all weapon damage. So 3 weapon damage, and 2 of them are Swift, and then 1 Infused. And for traits on the body, we've gone for 2 Reinforced on big pieces, and then we have 1 Divines, and then 4 Well Fitted for the reduced cost of roll, dodge, and sprint. I always prefer Well Fitted over Impen. Impen isn't as good as it used to be, especially with Mara's Balm. We get 400 crit resist just from a 3-piece anyway, so you know we're sat at enough crit resist anyway. So I like the Well Fitted for the dodge rolls. And then we got 1 Divines for a bit of extra magical recovery from the Mundus. Okay, so that brings us on to these skills. Only 1 bar to worry about, because it's a 1 bar build. The first skill we're going with is Cephaliarch's Flail. Infuse your arm with abyssal magic to form tentacles that lash out at your foes, dealing physical damage and healing yourself and generating a crux. Enemies are immobilized for 3 seconds and marked with abyssal ink for 20 seconds. Deals up to 100% more damage to enemies with less than 50% health, and you deal 5% increased damage to enemies with abyssal ink. So this is great. It's a bit of a area of effect immobilize skill that's also an execute and also does 5% more damage, or lets you drench them with abyssal ink, so you do 5% more damage. So this is really good. This is our main spammable and our execute. It's really good. With that, we're going for Escalating Rune Blades. Craft a series of apocryphal runes before launching them at a foe, dealing magic damage, and magic damage, and generating a crux again. The last rune explodes, dealing damage to all enemies within 8 meters, and this ability deals 3% increased damage for each active crux when cast. So I like this skill because we got a bit of range. So we have a Magicka attack and a Stamina attack, and they both generate crux. So pretty much at all times we have 3 crux up, which means we get increased damage with this, and it helps with our healing as well, but I'll talk about that in a moment. So then we're going with a stun, Rune of the Colorless Pool. Etch an amorphous rune on your enemy's mind, paralyzing them in fear after a 1-second delay, stunning them for 4 seconds. This undimensioned phenomenon applies minor vulnerability and minor brittle for 20 seconds, increasing their damage taken by 5% and their crit damage taken by 10%. If used against a monster, it doesn't matter for PvP. And it can't be dodged. So this is a really good stun, because the way this build works, why we don't need so much damage, is because this build works at reducing people's stamina, so then they can't break free. So what we do is, the first thing we do is hit them with a flail to immobilize them, and then 9 times out of 10, people who get immobilized, they panic and they dodge roll. So the second they dodge roll, they use up stamina, then you hit them with a stun, and it stuns them, and then they have to break free and use more stamina. And then we just do this over and over again, hit them with the mobilize, hit them with a stun, a lot like what DKs do with talons and encase. So you hit them with the talons, they'll dodge roll, hit them with encase, they'll break free, and before they know it, they're out of stamina. Especially if they're blocking and dodge rolling at other times as well. So this is all about wearing them down and then just killing them when they can't break free anymore. So that's why I really like this setup. So then we're going on to our survivability skills. The first one we're going for is Impervious Rune Ward. This is insanely good in PvP, and I didn't realize how good it was until I tried it out, but my goodness. You summon a shield that absorbs a huge amount of damage for 1 second, and then 11,000 damage for 5 seconds if the first shield persists. Both shields scale off your max health. The first time you take damage, the shield retaliates and deals magic damage to the attacker, scaling off your armor. But the good thing about this is it consumes crux to heal yourself for 3,380 health, scaling off your max health per crux. So we will constantly have 3 crux up because all of our damage is doing that. And then this is a easy 10k heal and a huge shield. It keeps us alive amazingly. The only problem is if you do get caught without crux, it doesn't help too much. So you got to make sure you're attacking, and you can just throw a couple of rune blades from distance and then pop it. But you'll be surprised how well this keeps you alive. And then we're also going with Rune Guard of Freedom. Cast forth a complex rune granting you and your group members minor resolve for 20 seconds, increasing your armor. You gain minor protection for 20 seconds, reducing your damage taken by 5%. And then the first time you're damaged while below 50% health, minor protection is consumed to heal for 10k health, scaling off your max health and gaining 3000 armor and crowd control immunity. I can't talk today. And it could occur once every 30 seconds. So what you do is, you go running in, you start hitting them with stuns and damage, and then when you get below 50% health, you will get hit, and then you'll get a 10k heal as long as you have this up. And it lasts for 20 seconds. So you'll use this to get the 10k heal, and then you'll pop Impervious Rune Ward and get another 10k heal, and then you'll heal with Cephaliarch's Flails. So you'll pop straight back up to 100%, and then you do it again. What you can do is, if you're below 50%, you could just spam this over and over again, and every time it will just give you a 10k heal as long as you're below 50% health. It's surprising how survivable this build is. I didn't think it would be, but it's great at staying alive, especially if you're line of sighting and stuff as well. So yeah, those are the skills, and then we've gone for classic Dawnbreaker of Smiting. I didn't like any of the other ultimates, the Arcanist ultimates, they weren't doing it for me. So we've gone for Dawnbreaker, which deals huge damage in a cone, and a damage over time, and stuns. So yeah, like that. This is going to help with the burst. We're going to mobilize people, stun them when they dodge roll, so they have to break free, and then hit them with a huge burst as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So if I can find something to kill. So you can just hit people at range, Gator Crux, hit them with the immobilize, and then the second they dodge roll, you hit them with the stun, and then you can hit them with the Dawnbreaker too. And that's it, that's all there is to it. You don't need to worry about anything else. You can keep your shields up, and your Rune Ward and everything, and there we go. And it's so fun to play. Tentacling people in the face is a bit fun. So yeah, that's the skills. Easy as that. Really easy to play, so much recovery, and you can just wear people's stamina down and kill them. Last thing we need to go through is champion points. So for the green tree, I say it every time, just get break full to reduce the full damage when you're jumping off keeps and stuff. I've gone for Gifted Rider to increase mount speed, and then just the usual, we know the green tree. Blue tree, I've gone with Ironclad, reducing damage taken by direct damage attacks, total of 6%. Master at Arms, increase your damage done with direct damage attacks by 6%. Fighting Finesse, increasing your crit damage and crit healing, so that really helps us out, total of 8%. And Biting Arrow, increase your damage done with Area of Effect, which is our Flail and our Dawnbreaker. For the red tree, we've gone Boundless Vitality for the extra health. Juggernaut, while under the effect of crowd control immunity, you take 1% less damage per stage, so that's helpful when we get the Rune Ward. Pain's Refuge, reduce the damage taken by 2% for every 2 negative effects on you, that's just a great PvP CP. And Celerity, increasing the movement speed, because I really like to be able to move around. So yeah, that's it. This is the build. It's pretty simple. There's nothing really much to it. It's really fun to play though. Arcanist is so much fun, and just like I talk about this a lot, the sound design is just crazy. But yeah, there we go. I hope you enjoy. Thank you everybody for watching. And that's the build. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know how you get on with this 1-bar Arcanist playstyle. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel for more ESO PvP content. From build videos to guides and tips and tricks. If you want to see some more Arcanist action, then be sure to stop by my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/Kylobyte. Thanks everyone for watching, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.